celebrating any good news this morning.
Exactly, yeah.
We're looking through the papers now. Vicky Beeching joins us, theologian and writer. Would that be a fair description?
That would be, yes.
We'll have a quick look at the front pages. Obviously, some of them a little bit old now, given that breaking news overnight coming from Edinburgh and that body found. Front page of The Guardian, as I say, they've managed to do that. Body found in the search for the missing 3-year-old Mikhail Kular. Their main story there about Barack Obama yesterday outlining a series of surveillance reforms in the wake of these 6 months of revelations, aren't they, from the whistleblower Edward Snowden.
The Daily Telegraph front page story is apparently Nick Clegg saying to the Prime Minister, deputy to the boss, come clean on new cities. This is about plans apparently to build some new cities in Buckinghamshire and in Kent, and Nick Clegg saying that the government needs to be honest about the plans. The picture there is Zara Phillips. Obviously, it's not a recent picture, not in the last couple of days, a couple of weeks ago, but of course she gave birth to a baby girl in Gloucestershire yesterday.
And managed to get home before the reporters got to the hospital.
Exactly.
Front page of The Times, their main story there about, they say, some minority communities operating their own justice systems with offences as serious as murder going unreported to police, according to the Chief Inspector of Constabulary. And some of the papers have pictures of Michelle Obama. She was 50 yesterday, reportedly saying she felt fabulous at 50. 50 and fabulous.
50 and fabulous. Vicky, I suppose for a theologian and writer, this one suits you perfectly, doesn't it? This story about girl guides or brownies being kicked out if they don't make the new oath.
Right, I mean, we probably remember the promise changed recently, so instead of being true to God, it talks about being true to myself, developing my beliefs. There was a bit of an uproar from religious communities at that time, and now actually a girl guiding association in Newcastle is being thrown out because they want to retain that traditional promise. So it's really all come to a head again, and it's going to be discussed at the Church of England's General Synod next month, and it's going to be proposed that the Church is going to really protest this as a sign that you sort of have to choose as a brownie or a guide between God or belonging.
It's interesting that. Do you think, where do they stand legally as well, the Church, I wonder?
I don't really know. I think, in my opinion, if we're in a nation that is, post-Christian, I don't really see any problem with opening up the promise, because I think everybody needs to feel welcome. And for me, actually, the part of the promise that says developing my beliefs really sums it up. So I think this is a bit of a storm in a teacup. I don't really see what the problem is.
Lots of the cub packs and brownie packs, they're attached to churches as well, aren't they? Lots of people from the church do it, so you can
often
understand
they meet
why.
in the church hall, don't they? So there is a real religious heritage, but I think we need to be sensitive to the fact that people that don't believe in God need to feel welcome in the brownies and the guides.
Lots of talk. It's January, so what do we talk about? Diets, giving up alcohol. Lots of talk about various different diets. And this is about the so-called 5-2 diets.
Yeah, this is interesting. So major supermarkets have actually reported a surge in the sale of bad foods, as they would call them: curries, ice cream, dessert, pizzas, things that normally sales would drop, for that sort of guilt period for 2 weeks in January. And this year they're actually saying they're on the increase, some up as much as 25%. And they're saying it's actually affiliated to the idea of the 5-2 diet, where you sort of eat lots of food and then you don't eat anything for 2 days a week.
You eat a little, but not very much.
500 calories.
Yes,
compared to a normal day, I suppose. It's not very much.
You then gorge on the other days, and that's
I think
okay.
if you read the kind of small print of the 5-2 diet, you're supposed to eat normally and then eat anything from 500 to
You're
nothing,
not meant
basically.
To eat pizzas and puddings necessarily.
But I think because it's such a celebrity fad that the supermarkets are saying people are still going out for the curries and the desserts, and they're kind of not really feeling like they have to just generally balance their eating, which is a bit of a shame.
Whole new retail boom. The Telegraph of this story, another sort of parenting story here about pushy parents on the touchline. Lots of parents will be going out to support their kids doing sports this morning.
Yes.
But this one, pushy touchline parents warn they face arrest.
Yeah, this is hilarious. If you've ever been to a children's football match, you can see that parents get very angry when things don't go their way. The ref can come under a lot of pressure. And actually the Sports Minister, Helen Grant, has issued a warning that if parents get too feisty, they could actually face arrest on the touchline. So I think they're really trying to protect the referees that come under immense pressure from really overzealous, angsty parents who feel like their little one had their moment of glory stolen by the ref's bad decision.
I suppose it's not just the referees either, it's probably other parents, other children as well.
Totally, yeah, and actually the Sports Minister is saying that there have been cases of actual violence and that when that happens, people need to know it's not actually just fun and games, it's very serious.
I love this idea. Being an early waker, I obviously need I have a few alarm clocks, in fact.
How many have you got?
3.
You must have to get up
every day.
so early all the
Right.
time, right? I can't imagine your schedule. It must be so difficult.
Well, whatever. I wake up early, so I just need, and I need to be here, so I make sure I'm here with 3 alarms. Anyway, this is the answer to my problem.
This is the answer to everybody's problems, basically. There's a Korean design student who was living in student halls, living next door to what he called party animals, and he had to choose. Either he put in his earplugs and then he missed his alarm in the morning because he couldn't hear it, or he didn't put in the earplugs, didn't sleep. So he's invented earplugs that are also alarms. So you put these earplugs in your ears, they're connected by Bluetooth to an alarm clock on your bedside, and not only do they shut out the noise, but they wake you up in a very personal way. So also, if you have to get up at a different time to your partner, these can also be very useful because it's literally only audible within your ears, so the person sleeping next to you isn't disturbed.
If it's in your right in your ear, it's going to give you fright, though.
I think it would give
I
me
like
a fright.
the 3 alarms. You know, they're sort of,
True.
it's
but-
more of a gentle awakening.
But if you desperately need to, wear earplugs and wake up or not disturb the
Just
person
hope it
next to
doesn't
you,
fall
it'd
out
be-
of your ear during the night and end up
that
on
would
the
be
pillow.
terrible.
Oh, thanks very much. I know you're back a little bit later to look through some of the rest of the papers. Thank you. Thanks, Vicky.
You wouldn't need 3 of those, would you? You've only got
Just
2
the
ears.
2.